Namaskara Namma Bengaluru. Namma team RCB Ninda. Nanu Arthur. Nimma show The Bold Talks podcast episode 3. Today I'm joined by none other than my mentor Rishabh VM who will be hosting today's session and Akansha. Rishabh, over to you.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಫ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೈ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ವುಡ್ ನೋ, ಟುಡೇ ನಾವು RCB ಮತ್ತೆ ಮುಂಬೈ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್, ವಾಟ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ವಾಟ್ ವರ್ ದ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಲುಕ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಟು. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಶೋ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಟುಡೇ. So,
Akansha?
ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಫ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಐಮ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಶೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಶೋ. ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಓದಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಲೈವ್ ನ ಬೇಗ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
Okay, so before we start off, just a quick brief of the scorecard, what happened in the previous game. RCB invited to bat first after losing the toss, putting up 131 for 6 in their 20 overs. Ellis Perry with an unbeaten 44 and Georgia Wareham with 27. Towards the end were a couple of major contributions. If you look at the Mumbai Indians, Nat Shiver, Brunt and Pooja Vasrakar, couple of wickets each with the ball. Looking at the chase, it was a pretty decent chase for Mumbai Indians, had you would expect with that kind of a total. Yastika Bhatia and Hayley Matthews giving them a good start at the top, laying the platform. And then Amelia Kerr with her quick fire 40 towards the end, making sure that Mumbai Indians crossed over the line with ease, around 5 overs and 7 wickets to spare. That was a convincing victory if you look at it. So we'll start off with right from the start. Akansha, RCB ಟಾಸ್ ಸೋತ್ರು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಸ್ಮೃತಿ ಮಂದನ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ದಟ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 160 ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಅನ್ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್, ಬಟ್ ವಿ ವರ್ ವೇ ಟೂ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ 131. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಟಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಪುಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್?
ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ದಟ್ ಟಾಸ್ ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದು ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಟಾಸ್ ಗೆದ್ದಿ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೌಲಿಂಗ್ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಚಿನ್ನಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನು ಒಂದೊಳ್ಳೆ 160 170 ಅಷ್ಟು ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬೌಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಹೋಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಅವ್ರು ಟಾಸ್ ಸೋತಿದ್ದಾಗ ದಟ್ ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಒಂದೊಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ರನ್ಸ್ ನ ಡಿಫೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗೆಲ್ಬೋದಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೇ ಟೂ ಶಾರ್ಟ್. ಐ ಮೀನ್ they scored it and they like chased it up in like 15 overs. So yeah, that's like sort of disappointing and like very much of a heartbroken moment as a fan to like watch your team lose, but it's all right.
That really shows how crucial it is, how crucial a factor the toss plays when it comes to cricket, right? But looking at our batting scorecard, coming to you, Arthur, Smriti Mandana 9, Sophie Devine 9, Sabinini Meghna 11. It was a disastrous collapse at the top. So what do you make of the performance of the top order? Smriti has scored a few, she's played a few good knocks, but Devine and Meghna haven't lived up to the expectations so far.
So firstly, I guess if I'm not wrong, we were 48 for 4, and that is a very bad score. So batting at Chinnaswamy, and remember, this is the same pitch where we lost to Delhi Capitals, and they scored a 194 in the first innings. And I guess Smriti said it herself, ki it's the same pitch, but the ball was coming a bit slower. So 160, like you said, would have been a decent target, but it wasn't even anywhere near 160. And we said this in the pre-match that that RCB batting lineup is inexperienced. Like after the top 4, there isn't anyone, and we talked about the Perry factor, which we will come on to later. But Mandhana 9, Sophie Devine 9, Meghna 11. Mandhana, as we know, hasn't played that well in WPL, be it last season, this season. last match was her first 50. Sophie Divine not in form, and I have suggested ki like maybe promote Meghna to the top, let Mandhana and Meghna set up a base for from where Sophie Divine can come and hit the long shots, and then you can get to a decent target. Then Meghna also collapsed at 11. Meghna hasn't played very good, but she has played decent. She has scored last match 30, and she was under pressure, and rather than rotating the strike, she went to clear the boundary. The ball went up, she got caught out. So yeah, these are your experienced player, and them falling like getting out at 48 for 4 already on a pitch where it's very hard to bat first was disastrous. This is completely not acceptable, and this is the experience side, like the experienced players of your lineup in the already inexperienced batting lineup. And if you're 48 for 4, I mean, I frankly thought that 90, 100, that's where we are reaching, but thanks to Ellis Perry, at least a respectable 130 plus. So, yes.
So as you mentioned, Ellis Perry could have 44 of 38. If you look at the strike rate, she wasn't at her complete best. Obviously, coming back after missing out a game. Georgia Wareham, I think, was decent for her 27. But overall batting order, Nodadri Akanksha, what we spoke about Sabinini Meghna as well. Her strike rate has been an issue of concern. Divine not in form. So Hokta, do you think that ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ any changes ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? We can try out something different in the batting order. What do you feel?
ನಂಗೇನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಒಂಚೂರು RCB ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದಾನೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಆಡಿಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಟೀಮ್ ಕೊಲಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಐ
True,
ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್
true.
ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಟು ಲೈಕ್ make changes in the team, try new combinations so that there's a stable team, and it's not like, okay, if the top order doesn't play or if our star players don't shine, then also then like we have other players to carry the team to put on a decent total, or like, to take the match. And yeah, so that's what I feel, like we need to work on that, we need to improve on that.
So, who do you guys feel they could replace in the batting order? For example, if Sabinini Meghna were to be replaced, who do you think would be an option that Aulna replace Madi? We can strengthen the batting order.
ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮೇಘನಾ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಕ್ ರೇಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮ್ಯಾಚಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಲೋ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಬದಲು ಸುಭಾ ಸತೀಶ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಆಡ್ಸ್ಬೋದು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇಫ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್.
Right. Also, coming to the chase, as we all do know, 131 was obviously any day not a total that defend ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Even though Harmanpreet Kaur was missing out, I think that was a huge opportunity missed by RCB to capitalize on this game. 15.1 overs is all it took. 3 wickets, 7 wickets in hand. Pretty convincing and one-sided win. So what not getting wickets in the power play was obviously one of a drawbacks when you're defending this kind of a total. If you look at Mumbai scored at 45 in under 4 overs, they killed the chase right away in those first 4-5 overs. So Arthur, what do you think, how important is it to get wickets at the top when you are defending such a low total, particularly in a ground like the Chinnaswamy Stadium?
I guess in the power play, getting wicket when you get 2-3 wickets in the power play with a Radha Yadav in your team, it's like that's literally the pressure would be on the opposition. Ki like, okay, we have to be careful, we can't take a risk, and automatically the current and the required will be on par, and then it's a 50-50 game from where it's all about who plays the game better. But to get there where you're already behind, like 130 is nothing on this pitch. Even 194, not 194, but 170 plus could be chased down. It has been a field where chasing has been so very friendly, and the power play bowling was just weak. I just think the bowling in general was super weak, and even in the last match, the bowling was very weak, and getting hammered 194 in the first innings. I don't know if it was second innings and Delhi were batting, they could have, like, if there was no target, hypothetically, Delhi could have scored 210, 220. I don't know, but bowling has been weak. Power play, yes, they lacked very much so, and they have to work on the as much as they have to. I think like the positives that came from the first two matches, we have to just keep it aside, and we have to like reevaluate everything for the last match before we take off to Delhi and the Delhi face. But one thing that I would like to say is that Georgia Wareham and Asha are like same profile player, and that Nandini Clark, she had a really good game against Delhi Capitals,
Right.
and we spoke about it in the pre-match that would you play D Clark instead of someone like Wareham or Sophie Molyneux? I guess that could be. I'm watching out for that. That play Nandini Clark instead of a Molyneux or a Wareham.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, I would agree with Arthur on that because, like, Nadine Declerc instead of Sophie would be like, she can bat well. I think number four would be a good position for her to go, and she can be reliable with the ball as well.
Ball as well.
So I
Right.
think, yeah, I would agree on that. So I would like to watch her play in the next match, and I think Ekta Bisht can also be given a chance in the playing 11 because I mean, like she's a good bowler and she brings in a lot of experience to the team as well, which is something that the team lacks a lot right now.
Definitely, I think moving forward, looking at the kind of wickets we traditionally have in Delhi, the experience that Ekta Bisht brings could really prove handy. Because if you look at the bowling scorecard, Renuka Singh 25 in 2 overs, Sophie Molino 26 in three, Georgia Wareham 28 in two, Simran Bahadur 1 in 11, Asa Shobana 1 in 12. All of them were on the expensive side, bearing Ellis Perry
Mhm.
and Priyanka Patil to an extent. So a lot of rework and rethinking to be done there as well.
I just had one thought. Ki, like, is RCB management thinking ki, like we'll save Ekta Bisht for the Delhi phase because the matches are almost alternative days, and they are like, okay, let's try the new faces and let's save the because age. She's 38, so 38 playing alternate days is for an entire month is not an easy ask. So I guess they are looking for that. Ki, like, okay, let's save Ekta Bisht for the Delhi phase, and once we move to Delhi phase, she can be a regular in the 11.
So do you also think Asha Shobana was under bowled in this game, given that she's had a good start? She picked up 5 wickets as well. Do you think she was under bowled in this game?
Yeah, I think she was ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ಓವರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಿತ್ತು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇಫ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದ 4 overs at least she could have been given 2 or 3 overs. She was given only 1 over, so I think yeah she could have been used better.
So if we look at to take out the positives from this game, Arthur, what do you think were the positives that RCB can take going forward in the final game before we move to Delhi?
Frankly and brutally, none. Except for Ellis Perry's comeback, and she wasn't 100%. Still,
Right.
she had like a 40, well, she scored 44 in 38, and you can excuse that. Okay, batting first has been tough, plus Ellis Perry hasn't been in the best of this thing. That was the only positive, and probably Georgia Wareham's 27. Those were probably the only positives because it's hard to find a positive where Mumbai just came in and walked all over you at your home ground. And I think Mumbai could have killed the chase even faster if they wanted to. Harmanpreet Kaur, like you said, was missing, but don't forget also Ismail was missing.
Missing, right.
Yeah, so could have been a lower score because she's the deadly bowler in the power play, like we have seen. So yeah, except for that one positive, none.
So Akanksha, coming to you, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ what positives were there for RCB from this game?
Positives, I don't think ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದಿತ್ತು ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, but I think it is high time that we get more serious about it. But I would say there was one positive that we didn't leak as many runs in the extras as the previous match. So ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಸ್ ಹೋಗಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. So that is one positive that we can take. But then again, that's not just reliable to win the whole match. So we need to improve on batting, we need to improve on bowling. we need to have like a overall, development of the team if you want to win the next match.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking at the points table now, we've won 2 games and we've lost 2 games. So, we have 4 points and we are placed fourth with the tournament almost getting into the middle phase now. So, what do you think RCB has to do better going forward? And we'll wrap it up with that. What do we need to do better going forward?
Frankly, RCB needs to, the whole management needs to sit and reevaluate everything and everyone. They have to start from scratch. Like as if it's preseason, we don't have our best 11. They have to start from scratch because, frankly, Mumbai Indians were coming from a loss, RCB were coming from a loss, and yes, either one would have lost, and probably it wouldn't have been season defining. And it was also a chance for either one of them to go on top, which Mumbai snatched. But the way RCB lost could be season defining because UP Warriors are gaining their momentum back. So the third position now, which possibly and realistically I think RCB should be looking for, is more likely for UP given their momentum. So RCB really need to sit down and reevaluate anything. And anyways, Delhi phase is coming up. They have to anyways reevaluate.
Akanksha, Nimdu, final thoughts before we conclude?
ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನಾನು ಅರ್ತೂರ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಲಾಸಸ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಈ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಈಗ 2 ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೋತಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಲೆಟ್ ದ ಲಾಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಂಪ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್. ವಿಲ್ ಪವರ್ ನ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಟೀಮನ್ನ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾವು RCB ಇದೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಪ್ಲೇ ಬೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು we should get into the tournament with stronger anytime. Even if we lose, we need to have that willpower, that mindset to go and to win. So I would just want to say all the best to all the girls, and yeah, I hope we win.
We
All
have
right,
a
then.
question from Prashant. Would like to see
Yes.
Shraddha Pakharkar, the left-arm medium pacer in the 11 when your spin department's getting tonked. She could be the X factor. One is left arm, brings in different angles. What are your thoughts on it, Rishabh?
I definitely feel we could do with a bit of variety, like you mentioned, left arm and the bowling hasn't been doing that great for the last couple of games. So I do definitely feel that we can bring in that X factor, given that not a lot has been seen about her as well. So that's always a trump card that you can try out when things aren't going well.
With that, we would conclude our today's episode of the Bold Talks podcast number 3, post-match presentation, post-match on RCB women versus Mumbai Indians women. Join us at 8 o'clock where we will discuss about the pre-match between RCB and the UP Warriors. Stay tuned, guys. Namma team, RCB, play bold.